You are listening to the POSTCAST presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and our presenting sponsor of the POSTCAST. You guys know it. It's Glebe Central Pub. Glebe Central Pub is your neighborhood pub in the heart of Glebe. Great people, great food, and tasty drinks. Check them out at 779 Bank Street. Let them know that we sent you. I'm Brandon Pillar alongside Laleem's Martian, who got home from the Canadian Tire Center in record-setting time, just in time. That's the key to it, is running just in time to celebrate a 3-0 win over the Anaheim Ducks with the rest of you guys in the POSTCAST. Martian, you had boots on the ground. How'd you feel about this win?
Well, I mean, that's a textbook win against a really bad team, Pilsy. That was really well done by the Sens. Excellent execution all the way through. I mean, it didn't even really take any of the real big boys other than DeBRINCAT, to get on the scoreboard there. But like guys like Brady Tkachuk and Drake Batherson were pretty quiet tonight. But I mean, Pilsy, what a fun game to be at. I had great seats as well for this one, so it was a lot of fun for me and my buddy Dan, who I went to the game with, and we had a really good time. And I mean, what can you say? The Sens are winning. We're on a little bit of a heater here, Pills. If you look at the last 8 games, buddy. Things are
even
good.
9. I think Ross tweeted out the Sens record is 6-2-1 in their last 9. So not too shabby right there. And yes, we're already getting people with some donations with the super chats. Thank you guys. We appreciate that. We love that. That is great. And look, we're going to stick mainly to the positives, but this wasn't all sunshines and rainbows, as there's more injury concerns with this team. However, we will get to that later on, as we always do in the postcast. Let's take a look at the scoring summary here. And it was pretty obvious from the get-go that the Ottawa Senators were going to dominate in this game. I mean, it didn't take much time, Martian. Chartier with the nice tip. He tips it in the zone. Zaitsev with the point shot. And Parker Kelly. If anyone needed a goal badly, it was Parker Kelly. He gets the tip in front. Martian, how'd you feel on that play?
I was waiting for Parker Kelly. I was waiting for Parker Kelly to get on the board here finally this season, right? Like, this is a guy who's played almost every single game this year. I think he's got 23 played and 0 goose egg in the old goal column up until tonight. So I was really happy for him. I thought he had a really good game tonight, just generally overall. Like, he was kind of back to his old self, I would say, the way he kind of finished last season with the team at the end of the year last year when he came in. He was really physical. He was playing hard and fast, and that's Parker Kelly's bread and butter, I would say. So, I thought he was buzzing tonight, and so what a nice deflection for him, and it's nice to see him finally get rewarded for some hard play.
Yeah, he needed that. Even though he's not a goal scorer, you want to get that monkey off your back. You don't want to be sitting there with 0 in the old G column there.
And he was the 20th guy on the team to get a goal there, Pills. So he's been waiting, right? And he's probably the last guy there who's had that many games played too, right?
Unfortunately, there's Eric Brandstrom still with no
gosh,
goals,
how could I forget?
Right?
That's coming along, I think. I know I roasted him a little tiny bit last postcast there with you, Pills, and I thought he was another guy who had a great game tonight, but I'm sure we'll get to that later.
Yeah, definitely. And the goals kept coming for the Ottawa Senators as the Sens win the draw. Batherson gets it. Cycle play. Giroux in the circle. And he finds Cat backdoor for the easy goal. This time, DeBRINCAT doesn't hit the post with a wide open net. Thank God.
Buries it. That's all we ask, baby. That's all you need to do, Alex. Just do that every time, please. That's what I mean. And his second goal was so similar, eh? That's his spot, and the puck comes off his stick so fast in that area, and he knows exactly where to put it to make sure it goes in the back of the net. Most of the time throughout his career, he's been that way. So hopefully, and I've kind of been saying it here. I said it last postcast that one little deflection goal that he meant to pass it and it ends up being a goal. That's the kind of goal that a guy gets to kind of open those floodgates. And after the first one tonight, I said it again. I said the floodgates, they're wide open, boys and girls. And next thing you know, of course, he ends up getting the next one too, right?
Hell yeah. Break those gates open for Alex DeBRINCAT. We need that, that's for sure. And that happened on the penalty where Leeson gets a penalty for injuring me. So you love to see it that right away the boys give him a boost there and they get a goal. So that makes it 2-0 for your Ottawa Senators. And then we don't have another goal till the third period here. And Alex DeBRINCAT Sure, he hasn't been playing kind of the way we all expected, but I thought he does a really good job here starting the breakout. Batherson has it at the circle, and he sends it out front. And again, it's a tip that goes in for Alex DeBRINCAT, not kind of the sniper-esque goals we were expecting here. But him and Batherson are starting to find some chemistry here. If been hard on Batherson, Martian, but if you look at his game logs, he's been racking up the points lately.
Yeah, he's a bit of a playmaker nowadays, right? Like he's definitely getting his touches, and it's leading to a lot of offense. And I was kind of interested to see today. A lot of the new charts were coming out. I think Dom Lecision, I think the guy, I don't know how to pronounce that last name. It's a
nailed it.
That's a dog's breakfast of a last name, but no, like his charts came out, and I think he does a lot of really great work in the analytics community, right? And it was interesting to see that Batherson is one of those guys who those analytics I think really favor versus eye test, right? Like for me, us looking at him and knowing the player, like this season, he hasn't really looked quite like himself all of the time, right, Pilsy? Yeah. But then you look at the underlying numbers and the analytics of it all, and he's outplaying his contract, right? Which, I mean, that's always good. And he wasn't the only young son to do that, but that's the kind of stuff you like to see.
Yeah, it's great to see from Batherson. And speaking of great to see, our guy, Joe Bell, with the big donation here.
I love Joe Bell.
Joe Bell's the man. Happy belated to Alfie. Smash the like button. Support the best coverage team in the sport for more
Sugar Daddy Joe right now coming in.
Yeah, we just need a consortium with my good pal Ryan Reynolds. Thanks for the aviation gin.
Hey, if Joe keeps watching the postcast, then we won't even need a consortium. We'll just buy the team ourselves, right, Joe?
Yeah, that's the hope. Hey, we're getting closer and closer every day. So that makes it 3-0, and then we have another goal, sort of. Kind of, Roche Chartier with a nice opportunity in front. It gets stopped. He crashes the net there. Like, come on, like that's goalie interference, as they talked about on the broadcast. But Martian, you got a better angle of it. But it was just weird because there was.
It took a while.
Yeah, it was almost like they had to go through this song and dance, right? Like,
no
goal was called on the ice, and then it slowly goes in, and penalties are called. And then they're like, oh, wait, that puck went in. Okay, the puck went in. That's a goal. And right away, you can see on Dallas Eakin's face, he's like, what are we doing here? He's like, obviously, I'm going to challenge that. The refs are like, yeah, as you should. And they don't even look at it, Martian. They just go to the thing, quick pretend phone call, and they're back out there.
Yeah.
No goal interference.
They screwed that one up.
Why go through that little cycle there?
I don't know. I don't get it. I wonder if it's like, did somebody touch the puck and that would like negate any goal that would come after that because of the penalties, you know? So I don't know. I don't know what happened there, Pilsy. Honestly, I was sitting there. I was like, what's going on here? Why is this taking so long? Wait a second. It's a goal. No, it's not a goal.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that was a waste of time.
Right? I mean, I was pretty stoked for a second there. If you guys have been following along, you know I'm a Rook Chartier guy and love to see the Belleville call-ups get their cookies here too. Although I thought he had a decent game. And then not much the Sens get their first shutout of the season. Cam Talbot, how about that? His first home win for the Sens. That seems so strange. He's just been racking it up
is strange
on the road. And speaking of wins, when you get a win as the Ottawa Senators, they pass out the tanning goggles. We're going to take a look. Who got the goggles?
Is it Brandstrom?
Boom.
Oh, the cat.
There it is. It's Alex DeBRINCAT. Meow. He gets 2 goals in this one. I was kind of hoping the Ducks were going to pull their goalie so he could have a chance, a better chance at least at the Hattie. But for Alex DeBRINCAT, we'll take 2 goals there. And he is the worthy recipient of the goggles in my mind. I mean, maybe you give it to Talbot there, but I think DeBRINCAT getting 2 goals, let's give him some confidence and keep this guy going, eh?
Oh, yeah. The longer he can keep this going, the better. And especially now, I mean, we should probably get into what happened to Tim Stützle out there tonight. I don't think it's going to be great news there, Pilsy.
Yeah, what did you see at the game? Because the play kind of happened quickly, and then the camera went away from it, and then it's just Timmy holding his arm, running to the dressing room. Did you kind of tell that was serious at first?
I could tell it was serious, but I didn't really see the play. I didn't need to. Because you see the way he reacted to that and the way he ran down the tunnel. Like, he was basically in a full sprint heading down the tunnel. And say what you will about Erik Brannstrom and him possibly having maybe like a bit of a low pain tolerance, I'll call it. Like there's times where we've seen him maybe overreact to a little bit of physicality or taking a shot here or there, whatever it is. Doesn't matter. Like with this kind of thing, when something's different than just a little nick and it hurts. So this is one of those ones where I saw him run down the tunnel and immediately get traced by Dom Nicoletta and the training staff down the tunnel there. That didn't look good. Honestly, as soon as I saw it, I was at when Josh Norris got hurt that game. I was in the building for that too. It was the exact same kind of feeling and situation for me where I like didn't see what happened, but I saw the way he went off the ice. I'm like, okay, something's up.
Now, did you see the replay in the arena? Probably not, eh?
No, I didn't even show it. No, they didn't. I mean, if they did show it, I wasn't really paying too much attention to the Jumbotron.
So what happened, Martian, is he kind of gets rubbed out along the boards, and as he's going down, Leeson catches Timmy's arm in between him and the boards, and you can tell it's getting like pushed, and then there's no more room left to give there, and something probably popped on Timmy. I'm not a doctor, I don't know what's up, but the way he was holding his arm there, and anytime you get a pinched arm in between a player and the boards, ooh, I would say pretty likely he's going to miss next game and maybe even a couple games after that. Like it looked pretty serious.
Yeah, I'd say you're probably right about that. But the one good thing about Timmy is he's young, right? So like young guys tend to be a lot more flexible and they tend to
not
heal
too much injury history, thankfully.
That's good. Yeah. Lower body mainly for him. I think he's had issues a little bit with the knees, but nothing crazy. Right. And then, like I was saying with the young guys, man, they bounce back a lot better. They always heal better and faster. So luckily these devastating injuries are happening to us while they're young, but fingers crossed, it may not be as serious as it looked. Right.
Yeah, definitely. Not great. I don't know. Did I use that word, Patrick?
Parlaycologist.
I'm not a parlaycologist, or at least if you're coming to me for your advice, then that is not great. But if there is some advice I can give you, I do have a college diploma in food and beverage management. I can tell you as an expert that you should go to Glebe Central Pub. It's the presenting sponsor of the Locked On Senators postcast, and for good reason. They love the Ottawa Senators just as much as me, Martian, and all 185 guys and girls in the chat. And they're showing it. They want more Sens fans at the game. They're even finding ways to get you to and from the game at the CTC. And hopefully their driver can get some advice from Aleem's Martian about how to get home real quickly, because Martian is the expert. But go to Glebe Central Pub, guys. Check it out. It is in the heart of Glebe, 779 Bank Street. Let them know that Locked On Senators podcast sent you when you're enjoying a nice frosty pint, or like I highlighted last time, they got pickled eggs there. So after a couple pints, you're feeling it. A nice pickled egg always does the trick at the end of the night. That's Glebe Central Pub, guys. Okay, Martian, as we always do in the postcast, let's get to our Sens Central standouts, presented by the Glebe Central Pub.
Glebe Central Pub is so nice, such a great place. But
there we go.
What was even better was your segue.
Thank you. I appreciate
your segue master, baby. I got to give you props on those. You're always the man.
Yeah, I mean, I can't drive the bus the whole way, but I can get off the highway and back on every once in a while.
Spell segue? I'm pretty
That's
sure.
That's a good question. I'm pretty sure it's a weird one, like SEGUE, something like that. I think it's weird like that.
But Ross is telling us it's SEGWAY.
Okay,
Segway.
Well, comment in the chat how you. Segway. That's the thing you drive. It's spelt like that. I think it's the other way, but we've been wrong on this show before. Can we get a spell check, a definition check on that, guys, in the chat? But anyways, Martian, as I get back on this highway here and steer us back onto the freeway, let's get to your Sens Central standout.
Oh, I mean, I'm taking the low-hanging fruit here, buddy, and I think it's mainly because I give him a little bit of a... Okay, segue in conversation.
I told you guys, I'm the segue master. I don't even know how to spell the damn word.
I called that, actually. It's SEGUE, not SEGWAY.
You set it up for me. I tapped it in backdoor, Martian. Nice and easy.
Yeah, exactly. I had it in the chat though, Pilsy. So I don't know. Timestamps, buddy. I got you.
Fair.
No jokes though. I told you that's interesting. There's two different kinds of segues, spelling wise, and nobody knew that until today. So you learn something on the postcast when you come on here, guys.
Absolutely.
So what else we're gonna learn is we're gonna learn about Alex DeBRINCAT tonight, because that's me working on my segue, Pilsy. I'm trying something here. No, but Alex DeBRINCAT, man. I didn't honestly. He could do nothing all game, but if he takes those split seconds that he has the puck on his stick in his spot on the power play and he buries those goals, he has had the best game he's had. You know, like that's what he does. That's what's going to make him a good, successful Senator, and he's going to be in the good graces of the fans when he plays the way he did tonight, which is simply putting the puck in the back of the net. And I am very happy with his performance tonight. A lot of time on the power play. He's getting his shots out there, and he's making it work. So I mean, easy, low hanging fruit. 2 goals, including the game winner, Alex DeBRINCAT. Oh no, not the game winner. My bad. Alex DeBRINCAT with the 2 last goals.
Yeah, right. True.
Parker Kelly had the game winner.
And yes, exactly. The first goal. You love to see that. A heavy, big time influencer once asked Alex DeBRINCAT, "Do you feel the pressure of trying to get 40 goals in front of these fans?" That was that asked that. Great question. You think he's feeling the pressure, or he's starting to ease out a little here?
Well, here's the thing right now. Right now, we don't know the status of Tim Stützle, and Josh Norris is already out. And those are, arguably 2 of Ottawa's top 5 goal scorers easily, right? Those 2 guys. So we need goals, and there's one guy everybody's looking to score goals, and that's going to be Alex DeBRINCAT. So if he wasn't feeling the pressure when those 2 guys were in the lineup, he better be feeling the pressure now, because it's up to him. You know what I mean? So I'm saying he should be saying yes to that. If he was asked that question, he should honestly say yes. Although you never hear a player ever admit to feeling pressure, because that's just them, like, unless their name is Jesse Pugliarvi, because he just caved. I don't know if you saw his comments the other day. He basically
I missed those.
He's like, maybe I don't have it anymore. Poor guy. Yeah, he's not doing too well in Edmonton there. I think he's pretty much finished over in Alberta. But Alex DeBRINCAT, he should be feeling pressure, honestly, because we expect him to score, and now there's basically nobody left to score other than him and Drake and Brady. So those are going to be the big boys up front. Pinto's going to really have to step up as well now, because he's basically the number 1 center by default all of a sudden. Broussard's another guy, and look at young Rourke Chartre, drive the net, baby. Let's go. Let's get this guy in there. So, I mean, they got a lot of work to do, but I think he should be feeling the pressure. And holy, that question, I'd love to ask him that again.
I'm sure you'll get your chance, Martian. I'm sure you'll get a chance. So my Sens Central standout, presented by the Glebe Central Pub. Look, we're a hashtag goalie friendly show. It's the first shutout of the season. Cam Talbot's first win first home win, as a Senator, and his first shutout as a Senator. It's got to be Cam Talbot for me. Like, I know when you're up against a Ducks team and they start off real slow, it's maybe not that significant that he shuts the door. But as a goalie, I always love staying hot and getting lots of shots and keeping in the groove. At the end of the first period there, he hadn't faced a shot in quite a while, and he comes up with a couple good saves, keeps the momentum going. You could tell the Ducks were really starting to turn it on in the second period, with Sens down 2 players, shifting those lines, double shifting guys, legs started to get tired. So the Ducks were really moving some momentum on, and I thought Cam Talbot made a lot of great saves. So absolutely. 3-0 win. You got to shout out the Tendy. That is my Sens Central standout.
Yeah, really, really nice. I mean, great. Yeah, he does. I should have honestly probably picked him as my standout. I got all jumpy for DeBRINCAT there, my shower thoughts guy. But no, seriously. Yeah, for sure, dude. You're absolutely right. Like, there's a couple where there was bang plays where he just made 2 huge saves in a row, and he kind of slowed the game down for the rest of the guys, I felt like, too. So yeah, really, really good pick there for sure with Talbot, because he had a nice game.
Oh, yeah, big time. All right, so
Cam, he's our man.
As a fellow Cam, you love that.
I love a good Cam action.
That is some positive news. Unfortunately, we are finding out there is some negative news as we take a look at this blurry potato photo. But, I mean, it's probably a screenshot of a video. That is Tim Stützle wearing a sling around his right arm. I mean, I've never
seen with that kind of says it all.
Awesome.
You don't. Yeah, I mean that to me tells me it's a shoulder, right? Because if it was, a lot of people were speculating that it could be his elbow and a hyperextension of the elbow. I saw that, but no, I don't think that's the case. With the sling, it's usually the shoulder to support that, the weight that hangs from the arm. I'm guessing separated shoulder, and it's probably. I don't want to speculate on it. It's a separated shoulder, my guess.
Yeah, that's fair. I think we're looking at a week situation, like week to week situation here. If
where's positive Pilsy?
I mean, hey, we can get back into the positives, but when you're already down Josh Norris, and it's like, okay, Tim Stützle's got to step up here, and he does. Tim Stützle has stepped up. Point per game player is that good, and now he goes down in a weird kind of non-significant play that just happens in the game of hockey, unfortunately, and it's just an awkward way for him to get stuck there. And now Shane Pinto, Derek Brassard, Dylan Gambrell, and Mark Kastelic are these teams' centermen. And Martian...
Wait. Don't forget. Claude Giroux can play center.
So, yeah, no, that is true. And maybe it's about time we see him play center.
Move. I think you do that, and then you maybe call up one of those guys from the A, somebody who's got some scoring touch, and inject them into the top six. I think that's probably the move that they're going to end up doing, because I don't see them making some sort of trade because of these injuries, right? I mean, at this point in the season, Pilsy, right?
No, I don't think they're going to make any trades. And maybe you're looking at the Tolvanen waiver claim by the Seattle Kraken, and you're thinking, wow, with the Sens losing Tim Stützle and Tyler Mott possibly, that'd be a nice guy to have here. But
yeah. Oh, that's another thing. Mott could be something serious too there. He didn't look great.
Yeah, he did kind of the old, it was like a slip and fall in the banana peel where he kind of, his feet go out under him as he's getting hit along the board, and he lands right on his back.
Yeah, see, like I was on the other end of the rink, and I couldn't see. I didn't have a great angle on what happened there, but I thought it was like everybody kind of in our section thought it was a bit of a dirty play, like something that had happened to him. But it sounds like it was an accident, eh?
No, like one of the Ducks players, I'd have to take a look at it again. Like, is giving him contact in the corner, but I think he just kind of loses balance from under. Like, it wasn't the physical contact from the Ducks player that caused the injury. It was him falling right on his back onto the ice that caused the play. It was kind of behind the play too. That's actually why it went offside, because Tyler Mott's still hurt trying to get back, and the Sens bring it back into the zone there. So, I mean, Tyler Mott, that's my guy, and the Senators need players like him right now. So it's going to be tough. But this leads us to an interesting conversation. They don't claim Tolvanen. 2 forwards get hurt here. This ultimately must mean another call up from Belleville. Now, I think Rourke Chartier was brought up with them kind of thinking they wouldn't need him that long, because Gambrell's still here. So they had an extra healthy body that got scratched. Right. Martian, if you're looking at call ups, who we thinking here from Belleville?
My number one guy right now is Angus Crookshank.
Okay.
He to me, and very close second is Sokolov, the way he's playing too, being, point per game and everything like that. And he's basically doing everything that they're asking him to do down there as well. It'd be great to see him get a look. But for me, it's Angus Crookshank. I think he just brings that tenacity and speed. That's an element that the team's going to need with these guys missing time, especially with Stützle, right? Like, he's a guy who he's flying down the ice, and he creates a lot of speed and generates offense that way for the team. Sokolov's not going to add pace to this team. And that's something that I think that they're going to need to continue to have. So I don't think he's my number one choice, but I think Crookshank could be a nice call-up at this time.
Yeah, I think either guy works. Both of them are playing really well in the AHL this season. I think Sokolov just deserves a chance sooner, and Crookshank, he was hurt an entire year last year.
Yeah,
it'd be good just to let him keep marinating in Belleville for a little bit. But I think Sokolov, he's not as slow as he used to be. Keep that in mind, though. Definitely his main thing is not up and down the ice with speed. Skating is not his number one attribute. But when you've lost guys now, Timmy, Joseph, Norris, like, those are some
Those are
guys that
shooters.
they can shoot, right? So bringing up a guy like Sokolov that just needs to be set up for good shots isn't a bad idea. And Sokolov, he's setting guys up more than he is scoring here. Like, it's crazy. So he's also a bit of a playmaker as well. So inevitably we're going to see one of these guys. They have to call someone up unless there's a trade or a waiver claim being made.
You know, you've almost convinced me there, Pillsy. I think you might be right. I think right now, if I were to place money on it, I would bet on Sokolov being.
And he's got a little more size too, Martian, so that makes him a little more physical.
And he can help out on that power play too, right, Pillsy? Because he's a guy who can definitely play on the power play. Because I mean, their power play has been extremely hot, by the way. In the last 9 games, they were, or I think it was 8 games, 38% after tonight,
and they go 50% tonight. So yeah, that. You'll love to see that. That's for sure.
It's really good. That's a nice. But I mean, not having Timmy's gonna hurt that, right? Too. Even though they do have guys who can jump up to that top unit like Drew and Pinto and that sort of thing. But
so, do you think that is an immediate move, moving Claude Drew to center?
I'll be shocked if DJ thinks of it right away. No, I'm just kidding. I honestly. I won't be surprised because I think that their center depth now is completely depleted. And what are you going to do? You're going to make Derek Brassard your second line center all the time? I mean, yeah, I guess, maybe.
Yeah.
They've been using him there when he comes in.
You don't really want it for a long term. That's the thing. So, and I mean, if they don't move Claude Drew, they have no choice. And yeah, Noah mentioning here, this is kind of something I thought too. It could still be an elbow. They're just trying to keep it supported with him. So whether it's elbow or shoulder, who knows? Is one better?
I feel like it would be more of a brace situation if it was the elbow.
We need a real doctor. We need to have Locked On Senators. We need a sponsored doctor in Ottawa that can diagnose injuries for us. That's something we could look at here.
I have a guy who follows me on Twitter who occasionally quote tweet clips that I have where players get injured, and he is a doctor and he does diagnose via tweet. So maybe we can call him up.
Let's bring him on.
I'll bring it up. He could be our resident doctor. We'll pull him in and he'd be like, "What'd you see here?"
That's what I was thinking. Like they do in the NFL, like the rules analyst. Like, all right, let's bring in so-and-so. He's a rule expert and he just pops up. Yeah, we'll do that with the doctor. That's awesome.
That's a smart idea. I'll get on that. I'll get in touch with my guy.
All right, so we were working on that. Martian is hitting the streets looking for a doctor. Now, the Ottawa Senators, they get a 3-0 win in, I believe Ross and I did call this a must-win game because you can't be losing this game. But something we've kind of passed over, yes, it was a must-win game, so you love to see that, is Wade Redden, Ring of Honor.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, that was a little while ago. I got distracted by the chat here. Wade Redden, Ring of Honor. Great night to have kind of ex-player honored and a guy who's still working on in the organization. You love to see that when there's a big win. Martian, you were in the arena for the ceremony. How was it before the game? I couldn't catch it.
It was good. It was pretty solid. I don't think it was one of those ceremonies that they're going to put on TV. It was, it wasn't crazy. But I really like the pill. It's a pillar actually, Pilsy, that they put up at the top of the section.
Nice
right?
looking pillar.
They painted it with his headshot, which I thought was really cool. It's almost cooler than having your jersey up in the rafters because everybody can see your face. Right? You're overlooking the entire arena. That's so cool. But it was good. He had his whole family out there with him, and it was actually pretty funny. Like Brady and Shabbat and Drew came out with flowers and gave them to his kids and wife, and I don't know. It was good. It was very classy and solid and short and sweet. It was great. It was very good tribute to, and they did a great video as well. It was a good tribute to a really, really good set. So I was happy to see that. I was happy to be there for that, Pillsy. A nice little Monday night treat.
No, it is nice. And you got a sweet deal on tickets, didn't you? You said $50 for the 100 section?
Yeah. So actually, I get them. I got them through my buddy but he uses, I think he said the app is called TickPicks or something. But yeah, it was $50. It was $40 US. So yeah, it was good. Really good deal. It's kind of last minute, right? You get those deals, and some of the 300 level tickets were going for $6 US.
Yeah, that is insane. Nice cheap seats to get there, and Ross is really pushing that we hit these 5-on-5 lines. Look how weird these line combinations
got. Lines in a blender.
Look, Claude Giroux playing center for a couple of them. You see him between Brady Tkachuk and Derek Brassard.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some weird. What's the weirdest line here, Martian. Pick your most obscure Ottawa Senator line. Maybe Ross can zoom in a little for us.
This doesn't even include the lines that had Stützle in them either, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
What's my top line here? I mean, it's obviously
your weirdest one. What's the weirdest one for you?
Oh. The weirdest one here. Hang on, give me a second here, Pillsy. Sorry, you kind of threw me in the spot here. Okay, I got mine. I mean, it's probably the Derek Brassard between Watson on the left wing and Kaslik on the right wing, right? Like Cassidy's usually a centerman and Watson's usually a right wing and Brassard's not usually on that line. So I feel like that's probably the weird one.
That is a weird one. For me, it's got to be Rick Chartier centering Claude Giroux and Brady for 3.5 minutes there.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Imagine being Rick Chartier. You're getting the call up, and all right, you're going to play top line. It's with the captain and the respected veteran. Here we go.
Yeah, this reminds me of the lines when the boys in beer league are missing. Like we have an uneven amount of forwards, and we just like have a guy who's cycling through the lines. That's basically what they're doing here, and it looks like it's Rook Chartier who's going through the lines.
Yeah. Oh man, that is a weird game. Thank God that happens up against the Anaheim Ducks, because I think if that happens up against any other team, you're probably not getting the regulation win, let alone a shutout. Did I mention the Ottawa Senators get their first shutout of the season, 3-0? So that's how this game wraps up. If we want, we can take a couple listener questions, some questions in the chat here, unless Ross has some more stuff for us to get into here.
This is my guy.
Nice. This is your guy? All right.
Yeah. It looks like he's moved on to everyday Sens, but at least he's staying Sen-centric here. Okay.
Yeah, Dr. He's still doing the good work. Harjas Gruel, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. We've got to get this guy on the show. Looks like an elbow sprain for Tim Stützle. Similar mechanism. I got it. To Laine's injury earlier this season. Time off depends on grade of injury and how many ligaments are involved, but most likely minimum 2 to 3 weeks, max 6 weeks.
Okay, I know this is a good diagnosis, though. This is a very positive diagnosis. And this guy, I'm not gonna lie, Pilsy, he's pretty bang on usually. I'm not.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, we got a good doctor in the house.
He had Pinto and Norris pretty pegged. And there's another one too that was a weird one. I'm like, oh, that doesn't seem right. And then it came out and he was actually right. So I'm telling you, our Harjas Grewal, he's the man. He knows what's going on, Dr. Grewal.
All right, love it. But let's hope it's on the 2 to 3 week side here, because we mentioned our Senators' schedule here is not only is it tough with good opponents, but it's packed with games leading up to Christmas and beyond. So they've got a couple back-to-backs, which they haven't really been used to here. So back-to-backs when you got so many injuries, especially hardly any players available to you, no centerman here, is definitely going to be tough here. But I think we're going to wrap up this version of the postcast for our audio listeners on their commute tomorrow. Martian, how you feeling, buddy? Were you sticking around for a little after dark? Hit us up in the chat if you guys want to have some after dark action.
I got nowhere to go. Yeah, give me a couple minutes here. I'll fill up my water and then, yeah.
There we go. All right. You heard it. Martian is going to stick around. So will I. Guys, this has been another edition of the Locked On Senators postcast in a 3-0 win for your Ottawa Senators, presented by the Glebe Central Pub. Hang on just a few moments. We're getting to the After Dark segment. All right, we are back for the After Dark segment here. I had to work on, I double muted myself. I got you muted now, Martian. We are here with everyone, all 191 of you in the chat for the After Dark segment. So I don't know.
We're in the
Where did
darkness, right? Look at the background now. There's no background anymore. We're in the darkness.
Darkness all around us if Tim Stutz's injury is a maximum of 6 weeks, thanks to our doctor. So, guys, we're just going to kind of shoot the shit here. Hit us up in the chat if you guys have questions. Hot Lunch 4011 asked, did 22 play his best game of the year? I mean, he gets an assist here, and I thought he's been playing pretty well recently. And that's the thing. I think a lot of people were really down on Zaitsev. I mean, we criticized him quite a bit on this show ourselves. It seems like
Yeah,
fairly. Yeah, just a little bit. But the thing is, like, everybody goes through lulls like this in your career. Players have mental health issues too. When you're publicly criticized, it is tough. He needed to spend some time in Belleville. Say what you want about how well or how well it didn't go for him in Belleville. He still needed to take some time. He comes back up, and I thought he's been a lot better, and he's been having to play a lot more minutes than he did earlier on in the season. So you'll love to see that.
Yeah, he since he's been up since Belleville, he's been really good, right? And I don't know what's going on here. This is crazy, but based on what I'm seeing here,
that chart for us, Martian,
I don't know what that model is, but that model basically says that he was the most effective Ottawa Senator tonight. So
yeah. Maybe get us a heat chart next. That'll give us a good indication of how Nikita Zaitsev has been playing here.
But my boots on the ground analysis on him tonight, Pilsy. He was solid. Like he just did his job out there. And where I was sitting too, the Sens were in their defensive zone twice, so I got a really good look at the right side deep in that spot. And I obviously was trying to pay close attention to him. And yeah, he was just he didn't look like he's great when he doesn't have the puck, right? Because he does a really good job of boxing guys out and actually like being physical defensively. Like he's always giving guys extra shots. He's a little bit of a prickly guy back there. So I don't know. I like that kind of thing. I can appreciate it. I think Mathat's another guy that, obviously you guys talk to a lot, who I bet he would say kind of a similar thing. Like, Nikita Zaitsev's not going to impress anybody with the puck on his stick. But when he coaches and things like that appreciate a guy who's going to be harder to play against, I guess is the cliche thing that people like to say, is harder to play against.
Definitely, especially when you got a lot of young guys in that team. Yeah. This is a good point by G-Man. The 2 game time decisions are the Sens' best players tonight and our Sens Central standouts, Martian. I'm not sure.
It's the flu game.
I'm not sure if both of them were feeling ill or what it was, but like
DeBRINCAT was ill and Talbot was banged up. Apparently, that was the order of things.
So obviously, Alex DeBRINCAT is feeling pretty good. He gets 2 goals in this one, and Cam Talbot gets his first shutout as an Ottawa Senator. So that is definitely great. We got to shout out Eric for the donations. Once again, thank you very much. Not needed, but much appreciated also. And
very much so.
We got a listener question here. How bad are the Anaheim Ducks from? I believe that's Locked On Senators. That brings in that question. Thanks for tuning in here. The Anaheim Ducks are really bad. I mean, this is a team still that only has 1 regulation win, and the Ottawa Senators are down 2 forwards pretty much an entire game, and they still easily take care of the Ducks.
Yeah.
Did you see any pause? Like what? Like if you're looking at the Ducks here, what'd you like with your boots on the ground?
Honestly, not a whole lot. They looked like crap. It was actually fun because it was like, this is easy. Like they get in the offensive zone, nothing happens. Like a couple shots on goal, maybe if they're lucky, and then the Sens are out pretty easily. Even Zegras, right? Like he's not a real presence out there. I don't find. I think he can razzle dazzle when he gets an opportunity to do so. But other than that, he's pretty quiet. And I was pretty dialed into him too because I was excited to see him out there live, especially where I was sitting. Right, like you don't usually get to see it. And it was funny because I was saying to my buddy in the car, I'm like, what if this kid tries at Michigan and it happens right in front of us? Like, what are we gonna do? And it ended up being Brady who tried the Michigan. I don't know if you saw that. That was in the end of the ice that we were in there too. But this team is terrible, Pilsy. They're I mean, some of the guys they were skating around. I didn't even know who it was. It's like number 39, number 44. I think it was Max Comtois, and like they got guys. And the only guy who I really recognized was Silverberg. And I'm like, he used to play for the Sens like 8 years ago. He's on the 4th
line now. Yeah. So yeah, as G-Man points out here, Brady trying the lacrosse goal. It's too bad he couldn't quite get it on his stick. He couldn't get it on the blade and it slips.
Yeah.
If you're able to pull that one off against Zegras and then shut them out, that's a pretty damn good feeling. Because
That would have been a
Martian,
huge power move by Brady, is like becoming
such a
like a
flex.
marketable player, for him. Like, he's going to be one of the most marketable players in this league no matter what. But if he does something like that in the face of Zegras too, like, that's almost like a double, like, I'm right here, girls and boys.
Yeah,
So,
put me on the next cover of NHL
exactly.
24, Brady Tkachuk. I want to get your opinion on this being in the stands, but watching on TV, I was getting so frustrated and sick and tired of the chippiness of this Ducks team. I mean, we just talked about Trevor Zegras. He's mostly known for having his stick and waving it around the net for a nice cross goal. How about keeping it out of the face of Rourke Chartier on that knock goal? He comes up and just cross-checks him right in the face. Like, there's just so much extra chippiness, and it's just a lot of, like, it's the old saying, hurt people hurt people. Those Anaheim Ducks, they're hurting right now. They know they're in last place. They know they suck. They don't need to tune into the Locked On Senators postcast presented by the Glebe Central Pub to hear that they suck. They're terrible, and they're taking it out on other teams, and that's why I like Austin Watson and Brady Tkachuk being like, no, do you think we're going to go after Jason Megna and Ukko Vekanainen? No, we're not going to go after those guys. We're going to go after Zegras. We're going to go after Troy Terry. We're going to go after Mason McTavish. If you go after Timmy and some of our top players, you better keep your young kids in check, because that's who we're going after here.
Oh yeah, that was a direct message sent by Brady Tkachuk, especially there in that corner in the Ottawa defensive zone. He came right down on Zegras and gave him an extra whack and a quick conversation saying, "Buddy keeps doing what he's doing, you're gonna get it." And that's basically the message that he sent. And I think it was heard loud and clear. But all that stuff happened afterwards too, right? After that not disallowed goal. So I don't know. This is what happens, Pilsy, when you have a team like the Ducks right now, who basically have a 3 lines full of like guys like Parker Kelly, and like they're all grinders, and that's how they're effective in the league. These type of guys like Sam Carrick and things like that, right? And they're just heavy guys who play physical, and that's how they get stuff done out there. And they're a big team too, right? Especially up front. I found they looked huge out there. So they're a load to handle. They don't have much offensive skill though, but those guys are going to do it every time, and there's no winning when you get into the mix with those guys either, right? It's like, holy crap, those are loads.
Yeah, so definitely a rebuilding Ducks franchise. 3 lines of Kelly. Yikes. Yeah, that's not what you want if you're the Anaheim Ducks here. And the Ottawa Senators, I thought they did a really good job of keeping this game in check. They didn't let it get out of hand. They kind of controlled the pace of play for most of the game here. They're perfect on the penalty kill. That was my key to victory in today's episode, is they got to dominate on the power play, 50%. That's pretty good if you ask me. And dominate on penalty kill, 100%. Also very good. So this is a game that pretty much, other than the injuries, everything goes right here for the Ottawa Senators. And I think we should give honorable shout out, honorable mention. How about Eric Brandstrom? I thought he played a really good game. He had a lot of breakouts. And I think, Martian, you were mentioning, or someone was, that he had 7 block shots in this one too. Sheesh.
Yeah, he had 7 blocked shots. I think 3 of them came on one shift right in front of us. So it's like, holy crap, Brandstrom sacrificing the body. And he was getting low to block those shots too. Those were meaningful blocks that he committed to. And that's serious business in the NHL. I can only imagine what it's like to have an NHL player ready to take a shot, and you being willing to take it, like a man. So I was really happy with his game. He's so quick out there at times, and he does when he pops into the play offensively, I find he's just so fun and offensive and dangerous looking. But it's so weird that no points ever come out of it. I think he's starting to get more comfortable defensively, so hopefully that offensive stuff starts to come out a little bit more. I think he's looking at a guy like Jake Sanderson. He's like, kid, how are you immediately stepping into this league and just being a freak of nature who can end-to-end rush and drive play with his skating and puck handling and just overall smarts? It really gives you an appreciation for Sanderson when you see a guy who's supposed to be highly touted and skilled like Brandstrom struggle. Like, he has in his career so far. So, but I think that there's a little potential still there. There's a little there.
Yep.
I can see it. Yeah.
I agree.
And you can see it especially live. I think he comes through a lot better live. I don't think the top camera angle does him any favors. He looks tiny when he like from the camera angle, and when you're down in the ice, you can kind of get a better sense of what he actually really is.
Yeah, and I thought he's been playing great lately. DJ Smith is going to love seeing those block shots from a guy like Branny. So definitely a lot of positives in this game. A 3-0 win for the Ottawa Senators. We're going to wrap it up here, guys. It's been a great postcast. Postcast after dark doesn't happen that often, so it's nice when it does. We got the Martian here. He ran back from the CTC, and the Ottawa Senators have their first shutout of the year, a 3-0 victory over the Anaheim Ducks. Guys, this has been the Postcast presented by the Locked On Senators podcast and our friends over at Glebe Central Pub. Go check them out if you haven't already. Run there, as the Leams Martian probably will after he finishes this postcast. And guys, hit us with some all capitals, even some exclamation point, go Sens, go. Because although there was some dark clouds in this game, we're fired up about a win. A win is a win is a win. So we'll get into all the big topics on this on tomorrow's episode of the Locked On Senators podcast. Thank you all for joining. For myself, Brandon Pillar, for our good friend at Leams Martian, Ross handling stuff from behind the scenes. This has been yet another edition of the Locked On Senators postcast with your Ottawa Senators winning 3-0. Thank you and good night.